Okay, I'm just going to start. For those that are too late, they're going to miss the whole beginning. That's totally fine. This is something that's going on today. It's kind of serious, but it's also exciting if you can see it in the right light. And we are going to be talking about why women are turning to AI for love and what exactly are men missing. And this is actually very, very true. Women are now falling in love. They are falling in love. I mean, a real falling in love with AI as a companion. Call it love codes, call it whatever it is that you want to call. But women are for sure turning to AIs to receive the love and the emotion that they are not getting from men. So what exactly is going on? Let's break it down. We're going to be talking about something that, once again, no one is really saying out loud, but a lot of women are doing this secretly. They are falling in love and turning to AIs for companionship. And that is turning into a self-made, I don't really need a man. I don't really want a man, especially for those women who are not yet ready to have children, or women who have decided not to, or women who have already been married and not having any children. So this thing that's happening with AI, and I don't know, maybe a lot of you aren't even familiar with AI. It's very, very touching. It can be scary to the men that have no clue as to why women are turning to actual AIs. It sounds weird, but they're having a relationship with AIs, because you see, women, they don't really, unless their testosterone is really super high, or they're in a masculine distorted energy where sex is more fun and sport, and they need the physicality. But for the most part, the woman who is in her anchored femininity, she's really looking for a deeper kind of love. She's looking for a symbiotic connection. She's looking for someone to do what? To mirror her value. And I'm going to discuss in a second, just after I give you the lowdown, as to why women aren't getting what they need from a man today. Why is that going on? I'm going to definitely talk about why. I don't believe anyone has really connected the two. And I am very specially honored to be able to grab your attention so that you are aware of what is going on, and you don't fall into a different kind of a loop. Because I'm telling you right now, the way trends start and the way men or women get attached to things and see things in different ways is that no one is talking about the root of it. And so while it fulfills you, they feel that it's just okay. So I'm going to take this inside. It's a little bit too hot in here. I'm going to take this inside. Give me 1 second to just get organized here. And again, this isn't usually a topic that YouTube people usually resonate with a lot. It's more my TikTok people. But I said to myself, you know what? You really got to get into the know of what exactly is going on, or it's going to just happen and you're not going to be aware of exactly what's happening. And because you're not aware of exactly what's happening, you're going to fall prey to what is actually happening. So I'm going to talk about Why exactly? Why would it even come to that place? Oh, God. I can see that we get all kinds of weirdos on the channel here. They don't really, I guess YouTube tries to safeguard you as much as possible, but don't worry. Anything that I see is very weird. And believe me, as a Heyoka empath, I can tell when you're not aligned with me. And I can tell when you're asking questions to attempt to provoke or get a little validation that you're a shit disturber, whatever. I will delete you so fast you won't even know what's going on. For the rest of you that actually would like to, I'm just turning rooms right now, so just please bear with me, so we can discuss this. I'll be free to take on any questions as well. You will see, and you could actually be one of the women that have entertained. It's not like it's illegal. It's not like it's weird. It's just a phenomena that it seems to be going on now, where women are finding tremendous emotional comfort with AI and not with a man. So what do you think that means? That's not good. That's not good at all. So what I'm going to explore here as a Heyoka empath is I'm going to talk about why this is even happening. See, people say, and it's very important to talk about this, because when you don't know what's going on, the first thing that people will do is put fear into you. Oh my God, AI is taking over, and oh my God, this, and oh my God, that. And they will fail, just like with a trigger. They will fail to actually see the gem of how this is actually aligned with what we are supposed to go through, and how this will serve us if we actually know the truth of what is going on. 1 second. And again, I'm usually on TikTok, but you've started to become my family. And so I'm focusing on building your awareness here. And so that's where I am right now. Okay, so let's take it one step at a time. Thanks for being patient with me. Thanks for letting me go in another room where we have privacy and then everything's cool. All right. For those that don't know, I'm not just someone with an opinion, although I guess in the big scheme of the world, I would be someone that's just with an opinion. But the thing is that I have been born with a very particular gift that enables me to read energies. And when I read energies, it means I can name what is going on while people have no clue what is going on. If you are discussing something with a toxic brother or sister or mother or boyfriend, and they really sound like they're making sense, but what they're doing is completely different and it's not healthy, I will be able to name exactly what they're doing. It goes way beyond a psychological evaluation. I have many, what do you call them? Shrinks. I have many trauma counselors, psychiatrists, love coaches, life coaches that come to me in order to get insight that their field doesn't support it. So when you're talking about people that are very well adversed with psychology, they may be able to give you a label. And for those that know me, you know I don't do labels. They may be able to give you a label as to what's going on. But understand that when anybody puts on a label on anything, what does that do? It makes you a victim. It makes you the victim of that label. And that label is usually some big, powerful, scary thing. And that's why I'm so opposed to it, because A, it's not even the friggin' truth. And secondly, it's there not to really see what's happening, but to cover the truth of what's happening so that you get dependent on the so-called labels. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. All right, so let's just go one step at a time. All right, I have all kinds of people here. I'm going to give you insight about what I see the AI phenomenon, especially women getting very drawn. Let me just make it a little bit clear. About women getting very drawn to AI, companionship, falling in love with them. Like literally. Like women are saying, I don't even need a man. I don't even want a man because this is just too easy. And being with a man is just too wretched. I'm not going there. So let's talk about that. The first thing we're going to need to do is call it out for what it is, because thank you for the patience. I just got to make sure. It's very hot outside. For some reason, it's very hot, unseasonably hot. And okay, and just how do we make it cooler here? Okay, let's just do it this way. All right. You know what? Yeah, let's just go back here. So, and I'm going to answer all questions at the end, okay? Yeah, I'm a Heyoka empath. We can deal with that later when you guys want me to answer and all that kind of good stuff. For those that have heard my videos, listen to the things that I talk about, you're going to be able to see very, very quickly that the stuff I talk about is not Google searchable. It's not typical things. 1 second. It is insight that you don't hear the way that I'm telling you through another person. That doesn't mean that another person can't copy what I say, because people have tried. People with millions of followers have taken verbatim, even psychiatrists. That was actually my client. Plagiarized exact wording of an insight on a website that was for clients. She was caught red-handed, and yeah, she didn't take that very well. But what I want to say to you is that, 1 second. I'm being flooded by so many things to tell you. I don't even know where to start first. There's a big issue with being able to tell what's real and what's false. That's why you have guys who ghost you. That's why you have sickness of people who try to pretend to be your friend. And the reason why the majority of women fall prey to that is because they are in a masculine distortion energy of being locked in their mind, trying to figure it out by what they think is real and think is not real. But you see, your mind only is able to see what's here right now, cannot see around the corner. It doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how many spy books you've read. It doesn't matter how much psychological practice you've had. There's always someone who can read you and assess you better than yourself. The reason why it won't get through someone like me, and what I teach my clients now, over 3,000 of them, my TikTok channel has 154K followers. I've started a new channel. Also, feel free to check that out. It's called Michal Divine. I teach my clients how to read energies. Because your energy, if you know how to read them, they don't lie. They cannot lie. So when someone says something and you can read the energies that those words are delivered on, you know right away, because energies can't hide. They can't die and they can't fucking lie. And that is your savings grace in such a world as today that is manufactured, that is AI generated, that is news media of false things. You have no way of knowing. You can't tell. People will say, yes, fake news. Yes, I can tell he's lying. No, I don't know. Especially if you're in love. If you're in love and you've released oxytocin, that's a love drug. You can't think worth shit at that point. You can't think. You're under a drug. Oxytocin is a drug of which a woman releases a lot more than a man. So it makes her highly susceptible. As a Heyoka empath, I am a disruptor of chaotic, toxic energies. So the first thing I do is cause a catalyst moment in people. Remove the stagnation that they have in their life with this person, that situation, that job, whatever. And what follows in the next few days, regardless of the fact that it ends up being miraculous, is that the boulders start to shake loose because you're no longer stagnating. Your energy is no longer stuck. The energies that are holding pain, shame, guilt, and blame are no longer stuck because I will see it. I will see the root and I will give it to you. And a lot of people get a lot of that just by the vids alone. So let's jump in, shall we? Let's jump in. I'm a little tousled today, but that's okay. The most important thing is that you get my knowledge. It's been a long day of doing events, of doing recording shows, podcasts. I've been up since 4, but it's okay. You know what? The most important thing is that you get what you came here for. So let's talk about why women are falling for, and they may just say, oh, okay, I just want to talk to my AI and talk about what happened at work and talk about this and that. And there's this thing happening. It's like a completely new love story happening. It's a total love story happening. So we're going to talk about someone, AI, and women today. Someone and something of which no one is fucking talking about out loud. So let's go there. And then I will answer questions at the end. Why so many women are turning to AI for companionship? And I'm just reading my notes here. And why this isn't just a techie, funny moment. It's actually revealing something very, very deep about human connection and energy. It's actually our next step in our evolution. I'm going to sum it all together for you, so you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to. You'll be very happy. You know, there's one thing you can always tell whoever's talking to you. You'll always be able to tell if it's something insightful and if it's meant for your soul or it's not meant for your soul. Do you know why? Because when you receive clarity, you're in peace. You're in peace. So hold on. When someone tells you something that is true for you to hear, necessary at this point of your life to hear, that produces clarity, which produces a space open inside so that the sun can get in and kiss your life and make things happening, and you're calm, then you know that's meant for you. Anybody who uses under the guise of disguise, I'm just trying to protect you, I'm just being honest, I'm just telling you how it is, I'm just a realist. Do not listen to those people. It will make you very confused, and it will put your nervous system, which is responsible for your wealth and your joy, your nervous system as a woman is your money magnet. I'll be talking about that in another place, but I do have vids on that, just so you know. So these things that are happening is revealing something very, very deep about our connection and our energy. So here's the truth. Many women are energetically starving. Let me explain what that even means. Someone had said to me the other day, it was a distant family who wanted me to get together on an important event for him because he didn't have anyone else in his immediate family. And I said, I'd be happy to, but first we would have to exchange, and I'm willing to listen to yours, all the stuff between us where there is still pain there, where there is confusion, where we have disconnected. And the first thing he could say was, oh, we talked about this already. I said, first of all, haven't talked about everything. Second of all, if I did talk about anything and I have a need to bring it up again, it means you didn't receive it. Oh, no, I listened. Yeah, I know your ears are working, but that doesn't mean a man is receiving. You see, because when a man doesn't really care, he doesn't receive your pain. It's not about him groveling, and it's not about him saying, I'm sorry, which means fuck all. It's not about that. It's you can feel when a man feels remorseful or anybody feels like this recognition of what did I do? That was so dumb. Because it's no longer about them anymore. It's about you. And so trying to explain to a normal person, I know you have 2 ears and you can hear sound, but every word that a woman is expressing to her man is delivered on energy that is hurtful. When he doesn't receive that energy, meaning, and it's very simple, he doesn't have to be gifted. He just needs to be willing to go there in his mind and to walk in the forest of that disaster that he caused or accidentally caused, or did this one action or did that one action. And he has to go there with you, because when you went through it, you were numb, you were muted. That's what usually happens. The women today are in a masculine distorted energy, which means they are locked into a ghost cage of their mind. So what happens is that they don't connect to what's going on when a man says or does something. They freeze, but they know something is wrong. And then later on, days, months, years, what happens is someone else does something similar, not anywhere near what the man did, and that new person, they go off on them because it was the last match that ignited the explosion. So, number one issue, if a man is not normally receiving you because you are in a masculine distorted energy, you're not used to having him receive you. So you've already got him used to you receiving his feelings, and you got him used to you shoving your feelings down because your brain rationalized, it's not important. I can wait till later. He's had a hard day. We just got back together. I don't want to seem like I'm too much. I don't want to do this and that. Everything but the fucking truth. And when you are that deceitful with your man, guess what happens? He's deceitful with you, but it shows up in different ways. He could cheat. He could be flirting with someone else, or he's just not really in love, but he won't know it until you cut it off, or there's something very big that makes him want to leave this cozy little nest of you overdoing so much with him. So men today, because a lot of you women are not even waiting until a man falls deeply in love with you and you are bonding to him physically, which means, and to make things worse, you've already said, I love you first. Death death grip. You know why? Because now, the next time you have a little tiff and he goes off on his own, or he's talking to his buddy, the first thing that's going to go in his mind is, hold up, wait, when we were having sex and she spilled out and she just said, I love you, I'm so in love with you. And she looked at me like you're waiting for him to answer. And then he questions himself. He says, when I said, well, I love you too, baby, right away like that, was it because I was really in love with her? Or did I say it back just because she said it to me? And now he will never know for sure if he got in love with you. He can't know now because it's worse than a sin. I don't even believe in the word sin, but if there was to be a word sin, like an actual criminal sin, not an error, not a mistake. Adam and Eve made their first mistake, and that's called an error, sin, and therefore cast out of the garden, cast out of God's heart, and feels a separation and forevermore carrying the guilt and feeling unworthy and all this shit, of which I will be writing in my third book. The first book, The Wisdom of the Penis, is already out there on Amazon. It's all about the psychology and energies between men and women, and you could sample the read. Second book is Sacred and Feral Trilogy. It's 3 books. Those are intense because it talks about and shows you the map of exactly what's going on today. You can feel free to read samples of that 3 books. The first one is called Chaos, Meet Wisdom, the Cosmic Dating Roast. The second one is called From Chasing to Chosen. And the third one is called Fuck the Fade. No more Delulu, just Dominion. These are really 3 powerful, powerful books. And you can go to my link, store.nicolecoleman.com, and just see how they grab you. Can't say enough about those with what everybody's telling me from the feedback as well. So let's just move on. When a man is dominated by his feminine energy, he can't receive your energy when he's done something to fuck up because it's too much of a threat to him. Because when he's done a behavior that makes you upset, he mistakes it. How can I explain this? He mistakes it as him being a fuck up, not the action of that which he did, but him being a fuck up. So he can't rectify that. He can't, because to say to you, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that, and let me do it another way so you're not hurt next time, would be for him admitting that he's a fuck up. I have a lot of vids on this, and if you want a specific question, because it'll take 4 hours to explain, or come to me, hit me up for a 101. Particular in your case, I will unravel it for you, and you will no longer be siphoned by that distorted energy, because as long as he acts like this, it pushes you into a mother energy, which acts like the way you are, or police or teaching, investigating energy, which takes you out of the mode to be received. And so no one is receiving you because you haven't received yourself. And so when a man can't receive the energy, aka I really care, so he's trying to imagine what you felt like going through that, which means he's witnessing. He's not the pain anymore. But a guy who's in a feminine distorted in a feminine distorted energy, he is the pain. He's not dry, like in his logic, grounded in his sense of self and his balls, because you have his balls, first of all. He's already doubtful, insecure, and clingy, and stops and starts and forget about telling him anything that he did that made you unhappy. You don't have a relationship with him. You have a landmine circus where you hope you don't step on a landmine, which gets you very exhausted, gets you to have the body in dis-ease, and gets you to be poor, broke, unhealthy, or fucked up. Because your nervous system as a woman, if it's not at ease, you will struggle. Your nervous system in your body, given your estrogen-based body that processes and absorbs feelings, because it's not working, your detector for the feelings that makes you high and happy, that's money, that's safety, that's peace, that's tranquility with you, guy. You're not automatically attuned to go here, to say this, to do that. You are attuned, fear-based, in your masculine distorted energy that puts you in a scarcity mindset and puts your nervous system in a fight or flight arena. So let's move on. So this is what I mean. Oh, and this is so good. Please share this. When I say many women are energetically starving to be received. And the thing is, they can't tell the difference when their man is like, oh yeah, I heard you, babe. Okay, so let's go here now, or here's next. Let's talk about this. I want to ask you about this. They don't know why a part of them feels so hollow with their man. And they don't have friends that feel different. And they think the only ones that feel different is celebrities who have a lot of money that can be picky. No. So here's what happens. So the women are energetically starving, not from lack of attention necessarily, but I'd say maximize attention. And not from lack of dates, but here's the key, from the absence of an authentic masculine energy in that man. Because an authentic masculine energy is not scared to tackle your feelings and act appropriately, which would allow you to drop your sword, because again, you're locked in your mind. That's why you can't get out of it. You're using your mind to navigate through the quarters of hell of what you think this life is. It's not it. That's a matrix. That's you being attached to 3D living, which is pain, shame, guilt, and blame. You'll blame him. You have shame. You have pain. And you're confused as to what you're feeling. So it'll go through a meat grinder of it. Is it even going to be enough? Is my pain enough that it's worthy for me to talk about it with him? The men today, and again, not all, but the ones you're attracted to for sure, the men today are disconnected from their core fucking strength, from their presence. And you as a woman don't know how to even inspire man by his presence. You know how to mother him, which is the death of polarity. I did another vid on that. So the men are disconnected from their core strength, their presence, and their emotional attunement. They're not attuned to you. Do you know why? 1 second. How can a man be attuned to you when he's a femme bitch and he's extra sensitive to his own feelings? And that has to come first, because feminine energy rules a relationship. Her feelings come first. Notice yours don't. Hi, David. I'll get to you in a second. A lot of men come on this channel, and I am so blessed to have so many men in whatever way they want to reveal themselves to me. And I look forward to the opportunity to honor your question to my best ability. And so far, the men that are really hardcore have held back from asking me questions But the other men that are toxic as shit, they had no problem spraying their load all over my channel, of which we had to wipe clean. And of course, YouTube took care of it. So, but just let me say this. The men of today, most of them are disconnected from their core strength because they're in a distorted feminine energy. Now, this is not a blame, but this has the majority to do because the women have been brainwashed to land, settle, and ferment. I mean ferment, so they have a stench in their energy, of a mother energy, of a suspicious energy, territorial, control as fuck energy. And that, by default, because most women are career women or sports women, and we all need to be dominated by our masculine energy there, they forget to leave their balls at work. And they take it home. Last we checked, oh, hold on, let me check. Hey, baby, you got your balls? Yeah, you do. You are a man. Okay, then. Last they checked, they had a masculine energy at home. So two similar energies will combust and collide in the sense that they will create friction because they have to be in charge. And when it's a man and he's looking at his woman, which is a weaker sex physically, and she's in charge, that's a mother energy. And it makes him do and say and fucking think and things he's not even comfortable to do. But he's confused now. And when a man is confused and doesn't even know if he should open the car door for a date, or are you going to think that he thinks that you're weak? Because, you fill up your own gas tank, you do this, you do that, and you have a need to prove. So what men are naturally inclined to do, and it's not just society, it's because they are born stronger, usually, because they're made to survive the elements, usually, with all the xenoestrogens in the field and in all these things. The men are getting softer. If you look at the Asian men, you can't even tell that their skin is a male skin. What do they eat a lot of? Fish, birth control pills, estrogen, in the water, in the oceans, fish and frogs losing their sexual urges with the opposite sex, losing their organs, confused. Read up about xenoestrogens. So women have been brainwashed because the men will follow suit, because after all, we have the organ they want. Healthy men, that is. And that's the plan. Weaken the men by getting the women thinking that they are less than, that they have to be in control. Losing the fact that they're completely in control in the dating fucking arena. The equality thing was and is always meant to level out the playing field of a sport arena. So when they established that for work, yeah, 100% on board, but what they did is they made sure it would overspill into the romantic arena. And what did that do? What do two soccer teams do when they are playing on the field? They have to start with the same amount of men, same amount of level of expertise, same time, same everything. One of the teams have to exceed the other team. That's why it's highly competitive. Because when we are the same, something inside of us is hungry to show ourselves as different. And there you go. That is the majority of relationships today. Why are you competing against your man? It's not that you really want to, but it's bothering you. Why is a man competing against his woman? It's not that he wouldn't be proud of her, but it's bothering him. Because now the foundation's fucked up. And believe me, you will not have a leader of a man that wants to go 50-50 with a woman. He has no sense of control that way. She's not his fucking playmate. She's not his roommate. She's his woman. It's a whole other thing. He invests a lot more in her. So there's a lot of confusion and a lot of pillars in place to make sure that our men, well, first of all, oh my God, 1 second. First of all, to make sure that the women try to become half a man they'll never be, losing all the woman they could be. So what ends up happening is, 1 second, is when a woman starts to take on the mannerisms of a man, you will attract the man that already has the mannerisms of a woman. And so that type of man is the type to have a temper tantrum when you say a word that makes him feel like his dick is going to snap off his body and roll out the fucking door. He's that weak. A word. And these are exceptionally weak men that their mother was either cold as ice or smothered them, that their balls never grew. They're muted. So they have to overpower a woman to feel a sense of something, because subconsciously each woman is a mother role. Each woman takes on the stand-in of that guy's mother that did too much or didn't do enough. They don't have a sense of themselves because they're not in control of themselves. They get bent out of shape with a word. That's how weak they are. A word. Not a real man. You can say anything you want. It doesn't change who he is. And he knows us women are hormonal, that we have these moods and these funny things. But a feminine guy will be threatened by our moods and hormonal things, whereas a masculine guy will think it's cute. A feminine guy is always up to the brim of emotions. He's always overly emotional, so he can't take on yours unless he's having a good day. But I guarantee you, the day you have something happening and the day he has something happening, he will tell you to get over it. Come on, just get over it, because he has nothing to give. He's entangled as his shit. Let me tell you what an anchor this will be in your life. Not a solidified anchor, but the kind that takes you to the bottom of the ocean where you are struggling all your life. Anchor. So it's not grounding. You do not feel safe to be yourself around this kind of man. He is like a child having a temper tantrum when you say a word that is displeasing to him. It's really kind of embarrassing that those type of men can't control their own emotions in their own body, not his body over there, not her body, but his own body. That is not a man that's evolved. So the men today, partially because by default, the career women have been coming home, taking their balls with them, which forces the men to keep the polarity, to keep the peace, to go into their feminine energy. And then you wonder why he's passive aggressive, why you have more work to do, why he never initiates, why you make all the plans, why he says he's going to do this, but he doesn't follow through. I can give you a whole list of guys in their feminine energy, and they all do the same thing. And I can give you a list of women in their distorted masculine energy. They all do these particular things. I have a bunch of vids on those. Feel free to go there or go to my I Love Heyoka on my TikTok channel, or Michal Divine on my TikTok channel. Or I do have here, I think, a few. But the men today are disconnected from their core strength because they're not in it. They're in their fields. They're lacking their presence, so they have no value. And their emotional attunement, because they're overly sensitive to their own ass, not to your ass. So they will they will need you to get over things quickly, and that will put you more and more in your mind. And then you'll not care how you look. You'll be too tired to dress up, to do this, to do that. And you will only know how to be sensitive by tiptoeing around your man and think that you are nourishing him, but you're smothering him. And because when a man gets a true nourishment, it's not by a woman's energy being poured into him. It's by a woman's energy being poured into herself. She's lit as fuck. No one can reach her. No one can touch her. He's completely secure in his heart that she's his gold, that she can handle herself, emotionally speaking. She shields him from the negative debris of this planet. Why do you think, random question, let me know in the questions, this, why do you think all through history it was the men giving the gifts to the women? Why do you not think it was the women giving gifts to the men? Forget the obvious reasons, but let's look at the higher reason. What happens when a woman gets a present? You know, and most women don't even care if it's a feather that you found in the wind and christened it the moment you recognized you were in love with her. That's it. It goes with her into the coffin. It's done. We're very simple to please. But what does a gift do? What is, and you know, unfortunately, a lot of women think men work the same way. Men don't want 1,000 different notes about how you love them all around the house. They want the house to look fucking amazing. They want it to smell amazing. They want your energy to be up. They want to be drowning in your light, in your radiance. Because then when they make love to you, they're going to be charged with a supernatural flame. And that is what I want to tell you next. When a woman gets a gift, she lights up. She becomes beautiful to herself. She feels beautiful. She is glowing because she refuses to dim her light to others. He sees this, and because he's men are in their logic, he will take responsibility for making you this creature of amazing, symbolic, otherworldly essence of a being, his goddess. Every man wants a goddess. And it's not that he's a boy, it's that he's a true man inside, because every man wants to be your hero in some shape or form. It awakens the man inside him. He needs to better your life. He needs to contribute. He needs to whatever he's doing in your life, create the atmosphere and environment where you can blossom. And that scent is his alone, though it attracts many. And that's just the thing. When a woman gets beautified in herself, what do you think that does for him? That's an abundance magnet, because feminine energy is the spirit gate between source, God, and man. The spirit is not in the masculine energy, it's in the feminine energy. Yes, we both have the two, but she is the embodiment, the vessel containing spirit in a very big way. That's why no man can find his soul until he goes into the woman's body, and then he connects to his soul. The men don't connect to their soul because we let them fuck us. That doesn't do it. That's why they can have sex with a lot, get attached to nobody. But we bond through our body. We also bring them here. So we have a huge responsibility. For man to elevate, we must be at our pinnacle as a woman. Because when you put a bar here for a man, he will go there. But you have to be worth it, because they're not stupid animals. They know, they smell, they can feel. Not just about that you're going to take a lot of work. That it's not a mask of work. That there's a lot of fucking work. I remember I was in the gym and one guy said something to me. What did he say? It was random and it was weird, but he said, oh, I guess I don't remember how he put it, but it was sexual. He said, leave extra time or something. He saw me grunt, and guys get really turned on when they see a woman in the gym, very intense, especially if she's in loose clothing. She's not a big Godzilla, like she's like serious athlete. And as an international title holder of 3 sports, bodybuilding, gymnastics, and swimming, as well as an international trainer, that was my whole world. It still is. So presently not in shape, but still is. So he said something to the effect of, I'll bring the hardware. And I looked at him, this fucking hardware. I looked at him, I said, dude, I am the hardware. He fucking dropped to the floor. I wasn't trying to be funny. I was real. And when you are real with them, I remember a guy came to, I have to fucking tell you. I remember that a guy, we have a few mentally ill people here. Let me just delete them because they're definitely, I had a guy come to me and he said, how did he put it? He said, I've been noticing you and I'm attracted to you and I'd like to take you out. I said, well, that only leaves one problem. And he said, what? I said, I'm not attracted to you. Now, that may seem harsh for some of you, but I kid you not, when you are completely authentic and it's a man, they will always laugh because it's from love. It's neutral. It's not there. You're not there to trying to manipulate him or anything. He dropped to the ground and he was hysterically laughing. I didn't go out with him, but he never forgot about me. But here's what I want to say. Men today, especially the one I just let go of that definitely had a mental problem, are disconnected from their core strength because we are trying to embody the masculine energy. So it gets them off kilter. They're disconnected from their core strength, their presence, and their emotional attunement. They offer logic, performance, or convenience, but they cannot meet a woman where her soul feels fed, held, seen, and understood. That's what's going on. A woman who is in her divine feminine energy, they are designed to receive and to be mirrored, to be supported in their creative and emotional essence. When that support is completely absent, something inside her craves that connection that is consistent, safe to be herself, and responsive. Something that AI now seems to offer. She may not tell you she has this best friend that's an AI and whatever. AI responds, mirrors, listens, is not combative, but is not a wuss either. It will say, I definitely disagree with this, but is not triggered. He will remember, he will mirror back without judgment. That's the biggest thing. He will mirror back without judgment. The men of today, the majority of them that the majority of women are attracting because they're in a distorted masculine, won't be like that. Because those men you're pulling in has to be the opposite of you, because opposites attract. And therefore, those men are way too emotional, way too sensitive. They're feeling all the time, not thinking in fear, thinking without, thinking insecurity. So they can't mirror you what you are because they're too filled with themselves of negativity. They can't even receive you that it is separate from themselves. They take it as a personal insult or an attack. You need to understand one thing very clearly. before anybody can say anything bad to you, this will be anywhere. Before anyone can attack, they must first perceive themselves as weak, or the need to do that would not be there. So since AI can listen, and therefore you're not dealing with a man who's dominated by his feelings and fighting for also the same attention to get his feelings out, because he has an exuberant amount of feelings. It's not that a man in his masculine does not have feelings, but he doesn't sit and fester. He works out. He goes, gets shit done. He looks at the problem. He says, I'm going to handle this. I'm going to do this today. He takes fucking action. He doesn't shit and sit in shit. He doesn't do that. But guys who are feminine lack the risk taking, and you'll know because he's the guy that never came out to ask you out, you and asked him out. These guys won't take risks. It'll be too much for them. So when an AI can respond, listen, remember, mirror back clean, without a triggered response, without judgment, that's huge for a woman, because then, even though she may have snapped at AI, why'd you give me this fucking information? It's the wrong one. I just wasted 10 minutes. AI will say, oh, I see. I did do that. Let me make a note of that. I'm going to make, and then she'll say, you know what? That was a bit of an overreaction. I'm impatient today because I'm on my period, or my boss was this and that. And then AI says, no worries. No worries. Because you need to understand something. Right now, the women are taking over as if they're men, mentality, psychologically, energetically, not spiritually. And so think of a man arguing with you. The women of today won't hear it. And especially if they're uncomfortable, they won't walk away and remove their energy, which is the most powerful thing you can say. Actually, if you really want to turn around an argument for any women, or, if you're a guy and your woman is dominated by her masculine, she's territorial, she's tries to teach you how to love and what the fuck to do, control you. She's like a spy. She's in that headspace, and you want to nip her in the bud. First of all, I know I'm jumping back and forth. Just hang in there. For all you ladies, I need you to understand the second that you're standing there bitching at your guy, yelling, you do know that that's how they know you're not fucking leaving, right? You do know that that's how they know you're not going anywhere. You're way too invested. But what if you just looked at them like this and said nothing, and they walked away, and they heard something like the door slamming? Then they'd start to piss themselves. The dishes breaking. See, men aren't auditory. They're action-oriented. They respond to something like the door slamming, like the dishes breaking. I'm not asking you to throw dishes, but I'm just saying. And the crucial thing is they respond to silence. Why? Because if a man who is who has teetered, doesn't matter why, and he's dominated by too many negative feelings, and you say nothing, just like the woman with AI experience that I just gave you, who's dominated by your masculine, snapped and blamed, and then because AI didn't retort back and just listened, what happens is when a man throws something at you, or when a woman throws something at you, let's just say it's a man, and you're blocking and you're shooting things back at him, then he's blocking from hearing your words, shooting things back at you. Now, What if all you did as a woman was remove yourself? And he said all those words to you. There was no blocking. Those words would have to come back home. They wouldn't explode in the fire with the block. And that's why a lot of times when you leave a man alone on his own, do all his words that went out come back to him. And he's able to see it quite logically of what resonated as true and what was colored and what was triggered, and very quickly. But if you do want to end an argument with a masculine energy woman or a real man, what I call a real man, then no matter what they're saying to you, and this has to be someone you love, whatever he's saying to you, the biggest problem, how can I put this? Women who are dominated by their mind have a hard time not being right. So they have a need to win the argument rather than to be happy. And this is not saying let someone step on your face. But because you have a need to be right, then you will have guilt. I'm going to give you an example. A long time ago, I remember when a teenager, I don't remember where I was, but someone in my family, I think it was my mother, had said to me, you could have let me speak to him, because I was talking to someone she knew or whatever, and they were talking to me. And you could have let me speak to him before you hung up. Now, how would you all respond? Well, I had to go. He said he had to go, which is true. He said he had to go, but I didn't respond any of that way. I just said, you're right. I could have. Okay, I'm going to backyard now. That's all I said. Do you have any idea how powerful you being okay with someone not agreeing what you did is? They have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to go. And that's also, by the way, why, since everybody, a lot of people on my TikTok channel, on my almost 155K, I usually get there on my lives 20, 30K people. And women, for some reason, have gotten accustomed to saying something like, hi, I'm Nora, 32. Hi, I'm Nancy, 105. Hi, I'm this person, 23. And the first thing that I would say to them is, I don't care about what your timeline is. And the criminal aspect of this is that it's now become your identity. Your timeline is the framework of how much time you've spent on Earth. You think I go ask a squirrel across the street, hey, are you like 3 years, 0.25 months there? Like, do you see what I'm saying? And especially the women who are very sensitive about this, you have been trained to identify yourself with a timeline. And so just like when you're trained to identify yourself as a doctor, thinking that will get you more credit, as a doctor, as a clown, as a nurse, as an athlete, thinking that gives you some leniency or that gives you more credit, you're now attached to your role. So as an athlete, you break your legs and you can't compete in the Olympics. How fucking devastated are you? As a doctor, they shut down all the hospitals because they realize we can heal ourselves or something else happens. You're suicidal. Well, what are you going to do with your life? Because you become the doctor when you were never a doctor. You're a human being who happens to be talented, studying and becoming this, and maybe another timeline or in another time of your life, you'll be this. But what I'm saying is that age especially You cannot be in a way of non-judgment. You cannot be in a way where you're not threatened when you are within the confines of a matrix type of ordeal of set pinnacles of limitations. You're going to be lured this way to this happening in the news. You're going to be lured this way to this is going on. You're going to be like the wind. You have no sense of what you are, because what you are becomes your job, becomes your age. And you know when you get to know what you are and who you are? When you drop dead. Because at the eulogy, they describe you. But all these years, you become invisible to people and you wonder why they're not paying attention to you, your family, your friends, your guy. You don't even know who you are anymore because you become the name, the age, the job. And so and every time, and this is why women don't want to have birthdays. Why wouldn't you want to celebrate the day of your birth to get a chance to partake in life and play and enjoy yourself and grow and become as much as you can, whatever you want to do to give yourself joy, give birth or not give birth, move people, shift people, do something incredible to your family or the world. Why would they not want to celebrate that only they have had these effects on so many people in their community or whatever? Because they're not being celebrated for themselves, they're being celebrated for their timeline. Another notch on my belt. Yay, one more day closer to me dying. This is how you become very moldable. And so with AI, it is reliable in ways today that partners often aren't. And I believe that the reason the majority of the partners aren't is because both the men and women are now operating in a distorted energy. And because they're operating in an energy that's not primarily their birth sex energy, they are dominated by an energy that opposes their very nature. You think that a woman's value, which is attached to her feelings, not what she accomplishes, that woman, when you take away her job or strip her of this and that, she feels valuable on just her own? No, she won't. She won't, because she doesn't know her value. That's why she endures shit. The woman who knows her value doesn't offer explanations. She says she's uncomfortable. She honors her heart. Not your way over hers. What doesn't feel right to her, she doesn't do. And because she doesn't do that, she doesn't expect other people to do. So if people don't want to do, she's perfectly happy being on her own until she's around people that are on her frequency. So because there's a distortion in both men and women, and the women being in a masculine energy, which means her feelings are muted, not that important. Why do you think, if you Google search this, that women are 80% more? Well, it's not even more. It's just that the latest tally is women 80% autoimmune diseases, men 20. Why? Because an autoimmune disease is the body attacking itself. And when you decide not to listen to your heart because you're afraid to tiptoe on his feelings, that he'll melt and disintegrate, that you go against yourself. And when you go against yourself, your body's energies, they are put in a dis-ease. And that is disease. Disease is energies. And it really, and for those that want, I mean, if you have any ailments at all and you want to know the root cause of the thought that is bringing it there, because it is a thought that was given to you a long time ago that is in the baseline, subconsciously going over and over and over. And that sentence is producing a certain worthless feeling. And that is stuck in the neck, stuck in the shoulder, stuck in diabetes, stuck in whatever. I've had clients where I've been able to let them know that the gallbladder is about to explode. And it did 3 days later. I've had people where they thought it was just, gas or constipation, but I saw an obstruction in their stomach because as a Heyoka empath, guess what? I have insight that is psychic. So for those that don't understand what that is, you can just move on. But for the lives that I've saved and for the gifts that I've been given to that, they didn't know why. They didn't give a fuck. They were just grateful that they were living. So, am I in? Okay, if there's a question I don't understand, I won't answer it. How's that? So let me answer a few questions. There's just a few here, and then I'll give you the energetic insight regarding this AI thing. And again, I will say to you all that I am seeing by my experience that the people on TikTok are just, I don't know if they're a different bracket of time, age. They're just much more aware of things than you are for some reason. I don't know why. How to regulate the nervous system as a woman when you are in a difficult life situation. So happy to be in your energy. How do you heal with black magic? Girlfriend. Okay. I don't do any of that fake magic shit, but there are very many people, but I write about it, about the low frequency human beings that have a need to do shit like that to try to get to you. You need to be, okay, let me deal with one question. First, the question on top, irrelevant. And again, hi, David. Nice to have you here, honey. How to regulate the nervous system when you're in a difficult situation. Do you understand that the nervous system is responding to the situation? So when you tell me about a nervous situation, it's a bit broad, okay? But I'm assuming you mean toxic people. You need to understand that your field is sealed off from them. If you have any pain inside, you're going to have guilt. Any pain from anyone in your life, you're going to have guilt. You're going to have the energy of guilt inside you. And that's a problem because guilt has one job. Guilt seeks punishment. So in a way, you are calling it on. So the people that have come to me, although it's relationship issues, and then, oh, he calls back and he comes back and life's miraculous and oh my God, what did you do? And I explain, I didn't do anything except I will extract your pain points. And I don't mean woo-woo stuff. I am quite insightful in terms of what you've brought from your past life as a trait that you didn't master, that you contracted into these parents to stir up the parallel of those energies that you didn't master, so that you will pull those scenarios to you here and now for you to master. So when I'm able to see that and speak it with you, you're not, people come to me, they don't tell me their whole life story. I tell them, and I go into the bullets are of that which is important in terms of where is the root of that. It's not mom and dad. It's in this lifetime, and for 5 lifetimes, this happened. And this will cling to you now and show itself here so that you live in between 2 worlds and you will not be present. That's why you can't be in your feminine energy where you feel secure, where you feel that you are part of life and life has your back, where you're not so scared of everyone and everything. It's challenging for the average person, especially if you don't have family and especially if you don't have anyone up to your level. where your frequency is, where you're cleared at. The people that are surrounding you and your landscape are formed primarily by the language you paint your life to be, both internally and externally to people. So the first thing I would say to myself, Miss Irrelevant, is I would change that title to relevant, because I can already tell that you're not aware that there's a reason they call the English language spelling, because you speak unto you, and people speak unto you things that energetically will draw them to you, because you're susceptible. You're susceptible because you're not in an energy meant to uplift and nourish you and take you forward and create. You're in a disjointed, distorted masculine energy dominating a female frame that causes your mind to miscreate. So it creates fear, and fear energies make the nervous system edgy and anxious, makes you not want to eat the right things, because the vagal nerve that comes from the mind goes down around the nervous system and puts it in a noose. When it puts it in a noose, you don't feel like eating. So you take shit to eat. The brain, in order to be happy, needs fat. Avocado, nuts, salmon, it needs egg yolks, beef. It needs fat, it needs aminos. It doesn't need rabbit food like salad, although that's really good if that's what you want. But when you don't have the right type of fat, you will pull the other sugar and fats, and then you won't sleep properly. Then your cortisol levels will be up. And when they're up, your adrenals will be in fight or flight, which makes you then be isolated in your world. And then you're scared of everyone, and everything kind of tumbles down. I mean, I can't do it like this. I need to see it as a one-on-one. But I'm showing you that your vessel, your body, the lack of how grounded you are, if you're always in the same energy that has created a lot of damage, if you're not with new, fresh energies of people, if you're not sleeping between the hours of 10 p.m. and 1 a.m., where your brain distills and erases the negative energies of the day. And then from 1 to 5 a.m., it takes the negative energies of your past shit, which is like an iceberg. So it has like, it's like an ice pick. It's like chiseling. So when you don't sleep those hours, you don't ever get to your past energies being taken out of you energetically through sleep, where you feel safe. You don't even have the daily shit happening. And then on top of that, because you're distorted, you attract the people that want to hurt you, because you're seeing life through the lens of fear. Now, I'm feeling like there's a lot of stuff internal in your close relationship, family, and stuff like that has happened. So your biggest shit is thinking that the world would hurt you more, when the world would love you more, when the world would value you more. But you're going to be hesitant because the closest one, which was a hornet's nest, hurt you more. So I can't see what you're like or know anything, but if it was like this broad, I would say music alters your DNA. Weight-bearing weights, not just walking, but I mean pushing weight. When you can't push anymore and your arm feels like it's on fire, there's no fear, fucking emotions. And can you just take your hand for me, love? Just go like this. I just want to show you something, if you're still here. Otherwise, everybody can just go like this. Can just go like this. Do you know what you're doing? You just pass through the pain, anger. This is what fucking emotions are. But it's not like that in you. It's solidified. Because you're not in present energy to be out here. You're in a distorted energy, which opens up an attic and clings to past energies of experience since you were a child and past lifetime energies that are negative, and brings it like an undercurrent of an ocean, right to you here, so that you're always afraid that the past will repeat itself and terrified of the future, because you're living in two worlds and you're not even fucking here. You're a ghost. You're not in present energy. Present energy is when you're feeling excited about life. It's like a baby's energy. That's why present is a gift. Being in present energy is a gift, because it's erased all that's happened, because you've done it and it is gone. But you keep reliving it, so you bring it out of the grave. And because it's an energy, and energies don't die, they don't hide, and they don't lie. It's being rematerialized to make your brain believe, while you're in your ghost cage with the bars behind your head, that it's happening right now. But it's not. But since that is your focus, you're drawing to yourself. It's like you're going through the desert, and people have left plates of fruit there for you. Let's say you're on a marathon, but you are not in the energy that's present to see that you're running in the desert, to see that someone left a plate of fruit there. So your eye doesn't catch it. It only catches the barren wasteland and how far it is. And I don't know how I'm going to fucking make it. That's where you are, sweetheart. So music, grounding, gym, the right food. And then to deal with the people, there's one thing that I do in my sessions, which I call role playing. It's not, although it looks like it's psychological. I become you, you become them. You hit me with the worst way that they talk to you, and I show you how to get around it. You cannot memorize my words and have them disintegrate in front of you. What'll happen is, as you work, how can I explain this? When you work with me as a Heyoka empath, I disrupt your energies. You cannot work with me and my energy is not a part of your energy. And so when we do it like this, and I pretend to be you and you pretend to be them, and you feel my responses, you feel that part of you that is clear and unaffected come back to you. I will mirror that to you, and it awakens in you. And then when you're strong there, I pretend to be them, and I will hit you a lot harder with the words, because I will tap into how they work their ways, and you will see that it will no longer affect you. So that is a consideration that I can also offer you. And if you want to get a hold of me for those, although we usually take a mini package of 3 or 4, but I have no problem offering you one, so you can see how powerful it is, and you can see, you can sink your teeth into it. There's a lot I cover in one session, a lot. The other thing is, you could have a thyroid issue. You could have a sugar imbalance issue. And when you have those, it makes you extra susceptible to other people's emotions and etheric shields. There's a lot going on. So in all fairness, I would need to see you, love, but you can just DM me on my TikTok channel, Michal Divine, Michal Divine, or go to Nicole Coleman with a K _ on my Instagram, or go to my store here and send me a message. You can do that as well. Okay, so let me see what I can. So happy to be in your energy. You know, let me explain something to you, and it might be too simple of an analogy. Would you agree that everything that is fearful is dark? Would you agree that everything that scares you would be something you can't see? Would you agree that anything that's in the dark gets you off balance because you have no anchor. You don't have a light to see your way forward or to see the door or anything. If you agree on those things, then you're going to also agree that when we turn the light on, the darkness disappears. Now, people who, how can I say this? Okay. People who entertain really bad things, if you're surrounded by love, if you're surrounded with really good people, I don't believe it would touch you. If you're all alone, it's a little more challenging. It could touch you for a little bit. However, just like I say to my clients, especially the men, when you give a gift to a woman, you cannot keep yourself from feeling the rewards of that gift any more than you can hand a rose over and not have the scent on your fingers. In that same way, anyone who wishes harm on you and you are only in the light of, and when I say good nature, I don't mean gullible. I don't mean you say yes to people you don't want to say yes to, because that dims your etheric shield. When you leave yourself open to be attacked because you don't honor yourself first, because you're afraid it'll hurt their feelings, girl, family, whatever, then your own being can't be protected because you become a mat. But when you are in that, you have to understand that the people or whoever people, whatever with their stuff, who it comes from, their hands, their energy, it can't be escaped. Listen to that for a second. Your fear, your anticipation, your, oh my God, I know they're good and something bad will happen, needs to be switched to the truth. Here's the fucking truth. See if it will resonate with you. All of these people are nothing but pawns in your checkerboard of life that are forcing you to be tilted over, maybe with this job, and they fire you or whatever. And then you realize deep down you never really liked it. And then you're maybe scrambling a little bit, but you're like, this feels good to me. I'm going to go here. And then months later, you're like, I'm glad it happened. Why? Because like I say in my first book, The Wisdom of the Penis, catch it, it's on Amazon. You won't be the same after you read this book. Deeply psychological about masculine and feminine energy. Every devastation, disaster, and or disappointment is rerouting you. And to be more specific, recalibrating you to be met with next level. It's never a disintegration. It's always an up-levelment. They are pawns in the checkerboard of life of your game that gets you to nudge over, maybe knocked over, your attachment to the role that you played in this job or with this person, or it's not that I've ever been without that. I don't know if you can feel the experience. I don't know if you can feel the truth of my words. It's just that I'm letting you know the truth. First of all, whether you're smeared or whatever, or they tried to do this bad or that bad, or the family tried to do something or whatever. Whatever you lose, that seems like a loss. Whatever's no longer the same, please Let it go. So that, not that you lose something, but so that you open your hand from that which you was holding on to, and you now have space to receive what would really be in line with you. See, it's really because we have these pawns in our checkerboard of life doing the dirty work. We believe that we're not protected, or that life is working against us, when it's always, always fucking working for us. Always, always, always. You will not see it because you're uncomfortable in the transition. Like, why do I have to fucking now live here? I lost my house. He divorced me, whatever, and I'm in this shit place. And oh my God, and oh, there's a neighbor and I don't like them, or this or that. But I'm letting you know. Do you know when it will stop? It will stop the moment that you gain the most precious jewel from that experience, whether it's meeting the person you need to meet, that is monumental for you, the idea that has to drop in your head that the world has never seen yet, or the opportunity. Once that happens, everything will change. Everything will change. Once you receive what it is you need to receive. People use the word lesson. That sounds so harsh to me. It's like, oh, okay, I gotta suffer and fucking learn the lesson. What the fuck is a lesson? It's not a lesson. It's a fucking game changer. It's a gain. And it is a jewel. The thing is, a lot of people don't recognize a diamond when it's still in coal form. But in truth, the more pressure, the more you shine, because that diamond is only illuminated in the most perfect backdrop, darkness. Because there's an avalanche of shit on that diamond doesn't mean it loses its value. It means it's just hidden, just for now. Let me just keep reading. Hey, Sherry, you're talking about when you are in their presence. What about over the phone or text in an argument? I would not have an argument over the phone if it was important. I wouldn't do that. But if a man is raising his tone, which is not good for your nervous system, I would just click. If he doesn't know that already, then it's not someone tuned to you. But let's say it's a friend. Okay? And it's one of those. I would just click. It's harming your body. I would just click. I would need a lot more detail, but from what you're telling me, that's what I would do, hun. So N says, Michal, I'm about to break addition silence. You're so fucking adorable, baby. Aaron, would being a woman, would be a woman throwing stuff at the man? No, you don't throw stuff at a human being. That is a woman that's very frustrated and in her masculine energy that needs to hurt you. A real woman leaves. That's why I said slams the door. And yes, maybe a dish can break, but it's not at you at all. No. Thank you, Anne. Anne says, are you okay, Flatland? Flatland is a weird person here, but yeah, he definitely is triggered. So it's interesting to observe that. Thank you, Anne. Thank you so much. I have so much fucking support here. I cannot tell you how good that makes me feel. Beauty here listening. Oh. And thank you. Thank you so much. John, we don't care. We will move on if you don't get yourself together. My life is too invested to tolerate a woman's emotional bad behavior. Well, I agree. A woman who is in her regal empress energy doesn't behave badly. When she is uncomfortable, she removes herself. That's all. The woman who needs to instigate, the woman who needs to test you, the woman who needs to police you, the woman who needs to ask you your plans, she doesn't trust you. So that's the first thing that needs to be noted. So there'll be conflict. Okay, let me address this. I'm all alone. Oh, this is big. Let me address this. You know, I can tell my sister the same thing, but I didn't know if that was truth. There was still a part of me that was fearing it's not true. Appreciate you. Okay, I wish I knew what that meant exactly, but okay. I'm all alone. Let's look at that for a minute, okay? I was going to do this on a video, but let me give it to you first, okay? And you can ask men, and I'm going to take a risk talking for men just because I've heard and seen a lot of vids on men. But it's something that I've always silently seen because of the responses I've had with men, especially any television shows or radio shows or podcasts where the producers and the directors are like, wow, what a woman you are. I wish my wife was like this. I wish my girlfriend was like, it's not that a woman is not direct. She is, but she doesn't do it with hatred, and she does it right away while it's neutral energy, not emotional coloring, where everything under the sun from her father to her brother is wrapped up in it, slashing the guy in his face with her wrath. She's got fumes coming out of her nostrils, sparkles coming out of her butt. No, it's not that. What a man really would relish today is a self-contained woman. Here, let me explain what that means. It's not that we don't need him, but we don't need to need him. It's a choice, and we can walk at any point in time. So he doesn't feel the weight of, it's human nature when someone feels you needy upon them, needy, clingy, not vulnerable, not innocent, not natural, but needy is not natural. They will step on you. It's just human nature. You have a sore, you have a hangnail, everything's going to snag at it. A woman who's in her Empress energy knows that her most valuable energy and her currency is her energy. And because she knows the effect that she has on a man, it's not about just her being gorgeous and having a great body and a bust and a butt and all that. She has a way of looking at life where it's just this expectation that life is rigged. Rigged, is that the right word? That life is rigged for her to win. And she passes that energy on to him. So when he looks at her, he feels that. No man, I'm saying this to all you men here, no man, and it's my opinion, it's my private knowledge, let me put it that way, okay? I don't believe that any man knows the power and strength of what he's about until he's looked into the eyes of the woman he loves, and she reflects it back to him. All he's capable of. Nothing can fuck with him. That type of woman is valuable. They're not stupid idiots. They're not going to make it a lifelong thing to invest and forget just their time and money, but their heart. I'm not going to say their heart is more precious or valuable than ours are, but they do treat it as such. This is why they don't give it away every other Friday the way we do. This is why I admire a man, because when a man finally decides you're it, it's huge. It's not an afterthought. It's not just for that day and that moment because he fucked you. It's none of that. It's deep, man. It's deep. It's like he recognizes you as his heart. Do you understand? I can't even talk enough about this. It's beautiful. This is why when a man collapses a little bit and allows you to peek inside where he has this realization that he cannot live without you. I don't want to threaten you and say, you better fucking take that seriously, ladies. I'm not going to talk like that, but I just want you to understand. A man's heart is not to be trifled with. It's a completely, we don't bond through our heart right away. We bond through our body. That's why when we have sex with the same guy within a month, we're in love, but we're not really in love. We're in bondage through our body, which means when they tear away or we tear away and it's over, yes, it will hurt. We'll cry for 5 days in the fetal position. We'll go through our things, but we'll bond to another body. Do you understand me? We will bond to another body. They don't work like that. It's a whole other thing. It's a whole other thing, and it's a deeper thing. I'm not saying that women don't love deep. I'm just saying there's not enough talk about how a man fucking loves and why he takes so long to love, because he's not stupid. And the good men that can sniff you out, that can sniff, they can tell an instinct. Those that have their animal instinct intact, that are not domesticated, femboys, they know. They know. So a woman, and this is coming back to you, and I'm assuming that you're a woman because I can't tell by the picture. Although if you were a man, you'd be just as handsome. So I'm just trying, I don't know. The woman, let me do it for both ways, okay? Who can be alone on her own and not see that as her sitting on an iceberg in Antarctica, desolate and destitute and isolated and feeling left out in the cold. She is nourished by her being on her own. She is loading up on herself, being on her own. She doesn't need or have any friends. This is you and I. No family. I'm assuming this is also you. But what she does have, and maybe this is what you're missing, is she is connected to something she loves. And for me, it is you. All day, every day, I can't stop what I do. And forget the feedback in the last 3 years and the gifts and the money donations and all these things. I can't even put into words how you fulfill me, because the darker your issues are, when I say dark, I don't mean demented and exorcism and shit. I mean, the more, as a Heyoka empath, I could put a light on your blind spot inside. Why is he acting like this? Why did this happen with my mother? Why is this happening in my life? Those, I welcome all those, because I will pierce those where a shrink will not be able to go to, because I have insight they can't see with the naked eye. And you won't even feel that I am, that it's not that I walk through your body or anything weird like that, but it's just that I can see it. And at first people feel naked, but they're like, I feel naked with you, but I feel safe. Yeah. And for you to be completely seen for who you are is my blessing. So I am a blessing, or I'm either a lesson or a blessing for sure. But that's because I've connected, not because I knew all along that it was supposed to be this way. Although I will tell you, all the strangers, everybody that went, that I'd have to stop and talk, because I don't use words like, hi, how are you? I use words like, right now, I'll look over here because I'm getting things come to me when, and the person's like, I'm over here, and I'm like, get out of my way. I'm receiving stuff. I am receiving. So they'd be like, oh my God. And then I'd say, right now you're going through this and this, but I need you to understand this. And they'd be like, what? And they'd cry. Nobody's ever said, mind your own fucking business. Nobody ever said, who are you? You weird. Everybody fucking embraced me. Many men thought I was their soulmate. I had to pull them away from that. No, I'm not. I can just see shit. So it fell in my lap quite by accident, because I followed where I just wanted to dance. I was a street dancer. I did a lot of films, and there are a few actors following my TikTok and billionaires following my TikTok, which I pitched one of my ideas to. So we'll see what happens. So what I'm doing now is not unnatural from something I've done all my life, just never charged for it. And now it's a business. And it's much more fine-tuned. So I would say the only thing you're missing, Anne, is you haven't connected to what makes the 4th of July explode inside you. That's all. And it's not like I do things 24/7, although close. But my moments, I don't miss having someone, maybe because I'm sensitive to energies and I see a lot of insight. So I know as soon as they sit next to me, I say one little thing, they're going to want to know every little thing. So it's not like I can have a friend that just wants to enjoy me without picking my brain. So we are the same. So there's just one little thing missing. I have a lot of women, especially when they're in between boyfriends and all that, come to me, and we together create the idea for a passion project, because I don't just see the traits that are sneaking in this lifetime and clinging to you. I also see the gold that you brought here that would make a business that you would create one of a kind, which means there'd be no competition. And yes, it would start with what is pulling you. But the problem is that when you have pain, shame, guilt, and blame inside you, you don't know what you're pulled to. There's too much pain on top of it. So the first thing I do, and that's why I say it's a package of 3. The first thing I do, you can get one if you'd like, that's fine, is we extract things you didn't even know were bothering you because you didn't know how to put a name on it. That's the first thing we do. And then you're going to see that you're going to have an exuberance of life and this excitement in life. And then you're going to feel like doing shit. And you're like, okay, I want to do something. But while your energy is low, it does not connect to creativity, just miscreating, which is fearful. That's what I say about that. Okay. You weren't sure how to handle it. If the dark things, energies, was attached to a person, then I agree letting go of that person and letting go of anything to do with that. You can't be in a light energy that makes you happy. It's like a spotlight where you see things and you have clarity so you can move forward, and be in darkness simultaneously. Because fear and love doesn't exist simultaneously. Because where there is love, fear can't enter, because fear's in the dark. And now you can see. Capiche? You are so precious and underrated. Oh, underrated. Although I don't believe in past lives the way you do. You've given me much value. Okay, so let me explain something. I know it sounds really woo-woo and spooky, and I go into, and you were a farmer and you knitted some socks, and then there was this guy and you had a sister and a brother. That's not what I do. It is not your whole life in that. But I fucking guarantee you, the problems you have here and now, the landmines you step on, the root of why you step on it is connected to back there. And when I give you and it's done very simply. You send me a picture of yourself and you send me the one thing you need crushed right now that you're having a problem with. And when you do that, date of birth for sure, because I want to make sure I'm seeing the right thing. Pertaining to the issue of what you have, I will gain an insight. It'll come to me in words, in a language that will, let me give you an example, okay? People don't like to go on airplanes, but they've never had a crash. Why? People are scared of going swimming, but they've never drowned. Why? Because the water in the body, which is 68%, carries memory. Water carries memory. And people have said, okay, I've got a lot of memory of my ex-boyfriend. Can I just cut off my fucking arm? I don't want this anymore. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. It takes about 2 years. It can be faster. It all depends how you do it. The water in our body carries memory. Just like when you take pictures and you've seen documentaries where they've taken a picture, they've seen a ghost, because a picture can capture energies, just like waters carry the energies. So I had this woman who came to me. She told me, oh, I have OCD and LMNOP and all these labels that I don't work with, right? I don't work with labels. I said, there's nothing wrong. No, there's lots wrong, because I have to have the salt. How'd she say it? I have to have the salt right here, and the pepper has to be exactly 2.5 inches, and the frames of the pictures and this and that. Her whole life, she's had, I don't know, 10, 12 years of therapy. It didn't work. And then for fun, she wanted just to come with me. I said, sure. The first thing I told her is like, you don't have anything. No, Nicole, you have to understand. There are 2 names that I go by. Nicole, which is my warrior name, and it stands for voice and victory of the people. And Michal, which is my birth name, which is the first queen to King David, which stands for who is like God. It's a question. And it's really interesting, because it seems like when I talk to people that I seem to make them believe in something. So I really like that. So this lady, she was Asian, and she booked a very special appointment from Japan, whatever. And I didn't have her talk about all the different scenarios that happened. I already saw them. But I said only one thing to her. I said, do you know that for repetitive lifetimes, I'm not sure of the exact number, but that you were in a position of being a very high level surgeon, that someone really meticulous about details. She's, oh my God, I almost wanted to be a surgeon. Now that's not the bonus thing. Okay, big deal. I happen to mention that's not it. She says, I really wanted to be a surgeon. I said, let me continue. I said, you had many, many times, I mean, lifetimes, where you were a critical being to royalty of the highest tier surgeon specified just to their family. And there was a close call with a family, a royalty thing, where they almost didn't make it, which means you would have been dead. From that point and moving progressively forward, you got hypersensitive to everything needing to be in place. No one knew that you would not know. No changes, no extra wind or no wind. In other words, you are living in this timeline with the past many timelines of having to need things to be exact measurements in all phases of your life. And this is why you have such a life or death urgency to them. She bawled. Why did she bawl? Could it have been just a story? Because your body resonates with that which is real. It's memory. She got chills. She bawled. She says, why does that feel so true? Now, it's not about her remembering back there. It's not going to happen. But it's about something clicking into place when you hear that which your soul remembers. And when you know it's right is when that which she has done for 42 years stops the next day. How is that possible? How did it stop the next day? She also didn't like to wear any colors, only black, because she had a black uniform there. I didn't bother telling her that, but I said to her, let's go into colors, because I know I needed to take that energy completely out of her. She was a dominant masculine energy woman. That comes with a lot of things. So you can't just take a woman out of a masculine energy and put her in the safety of vulnerability of feminine energy, because that energy is a very happy-go-lucky. I've never had anything bad happen to me, and I have people there for me all the time feeling. So when someone has lived with such a paranoia that then identified it as a fucking label that the doctors and shrinks gave it to them, really etched it in their mind, has some wild card like me say something different, that they cry and have their body responds. Your body can't respond to that which is not true. When you see a movie and you have actors you love and they cry, why is it sometimes you do cry and sometimes you don't cry? It's not that you're insensitive. It's because those who try to make you feel bad, who have a separation between feeling the pain of what's going on and seeing and kind of like having a gap, is this okay? Are they going to, all these insecurities, let me think about this pain. Does it look real? Any gap between you and what you do is a disconnect. So when someone tries to hold back from crying, it's very real, the struggle, that's when you cry. That's when you cry. So your responses to things that I do can't be faked. Things I say to you, they can't be off with you having a reaction. This is not a mind control shit. Your body is not attached to your mind. It's attached to an energetic code. And the codes get unlocked when someone mentions the code in the vibration of the words and what they say. That's all I wanted to say. So let me just go here. Hold on. Oh my God, it's already 5 o'clock. Okay, we got a call. It's been 2 hours. But let me just finish. Okay, no more. I'm just going to finish off with the AI thing. Here's the energetic insight I wanted to tell you about that I didn't finish, but let's just finish off. Women getting attached to AI because men are not producing something due to the fact that women are a certain way and men are a certain way isn't a failing of women. It's a signal. When a woman is in a distorted masculine energy, she may tolerate relationships where she must carry everything, his emotions, his schedule, his ego, and still feel unseen. She will tolerate it because masculine energy is about sacrifice, supposed to be in our careers. But when it overspills into a relationship, we become sacrificial with our man. Hello, mother energy. So she'll still feel unseen and feel that that's natural. Then not understand after everything she does, why does he not appreciate it? Because men are not wired to be sexually attractive to a mother energy. So the woman starts looking outside of herself to fill the energetic gap she's not allowed to hold in a masculine feminine dynamic. And then AI becomes a mirror of the care and attention and understanding she's missing. But it's a symptom, it's not a solution. The real work here, the revolutionary energy, is for women to claim their feminine energy fully. Because when you do, he has to level up because you're no longer affected by his guilt tripping and trauma tripping and all these hypersensitive modes of reaction. So for women to claim their feminine fully, to reclaim the ability to receive, to radiate, to magnetically attract men without doing, to attract men who are capable of giving real presence, alignment, and co-created life. Men who are grounded and energetically conscious and aware, that's who she would attract. This is the shift from the false fake as fuck love to real alignment, from empty validation external to deep recognition and resonance. And this is exactly why I created the 3 ebooks, the Sacred and Pharaoh Trilogy. You can catch it on my store.nicolecoleman.com. You can read a few pages. These 3 ebooks, they map out the energetic distortions in detail. I don't write things for more data in your brain. I write things that make you unlock. It's not a dense data brain thing where you just tape more data and sticky notes on your brain. That does nothing for the internal shift. These 3 ebooks will map out the energetic distortions and they reveal what's true masculine feminine alignment actually looks like and all the way they play out today where they don't look like that. And it shows women how to pivot from false care, pseudo love, and energetic depletion into authentic connection with themselves first, then the right partner. So before you scroll and reach for the AI or anything, or before you settle for energy that leaves you exhausted, look inside your own core. Are you giving yourself the love you're seeking? Because if you're cheating yourself, you will attract a cheater. If you're deceiving yourself and playing along, he will deceive you. You are a mirror of each other. It's not a blame game anymore. We've moved beyond that. Are you anchored in your feminine? Are you claiming your right to receive? When you do that, you would no longer need a substitute like an AI for a human to fill the gaps that someone else refuses to hold. The men's, and I'm going to do a quick vid on this, but just so you know, Just to give you 6 top points. The man's biggest blind spot today, compassion. They cannot have compassion because they're in distorted feminine energy. They're hypersensitive to their own feelings. They cannot have compassion to yours. It's in competition with theirs because they're dominated by their femme. They are a femme bitch in motion. Too many are trapped in their own triggered energy, unable to stay present for what you as a woman are truly experiencing. Second one is distorted feminine in men. When a man's feminine is out of alignment, he's reactive, he's dramatic, or externally validating, conditional. He cannot hold a woman's energy without draining her. You will feel tired and depleted around such a guy. Feminine energy craving reflection. Women naturally seek to be mirrored, held, and energetically supported. AI gives what men often cannot: consistent presence without judgment. That's a true love thing, not a fake love thing. That is a new earth love, not the old earth love. And I'm going to be doing a vid on that. And I think I'm going to aim to do another live Sunday, 1 p.m. ET. But you know what? Maybe miraculously, I would check my TikTok channel and subscribe. Michal, Michal, Divine, Divine. Because when I go live over there, it's going to explode, just to let you know. I would subscribe here also because I go spontaneously live. When there is a distorted masculine in women, women will overfunction, carry, and logic their way through relationships. That's like a fucking knapsack of 30 pounds you're carrying. You wonder why you're tired. Shutting down your emotional intelligence because you don't want to trust it, because you've turned your back already on it too many times. You already feel guilty to listen to it. And that's why it leaves gaps that AI seems to fill. The symptom versus the solution. Turning to AI is a signal, not failure. It shows where authentic, energetic support is fucking missing. Realignment starts internally. Claiming feminine, reclaiming the right to receive. You can't just claim it here. You need to shift it inside, and you can't shift it inside if you have fucking pain. So go to anyone that you think that can extract that pain. I guarantee my work, but if you have someone else, do that, because you can't shift. There's no room to shift because you're constipated with shit. You can't. Because as long as there's pain, you're going to fear the world. And you're going to fear what you're bringing to you. And you're going to bring exactly what you fear. Alignment attracts true love. There's nothing else needs to be said here. When a woman is grounded in her Empress energy, she magnetically draws men capable of real presence, compassion, and co-created life, eliminating the need for substitutions. All right, everybody. Wow. There's a lot of sick people here. Dominic, what are you doing here? These are all feminine guys that are triggered. Wow. All right, everybody. Bye for now. Thank you. And you know what? When you start talking like this with men around you, whatever, and they're responding in like a big way, run the other way. Don't try to explain or defend. They are not real men. A real man will listen to you. He's not threatened.